Okay, here we go. It's
Yay.
good to meet with everybody. Hi, here I am. I'm Steve at the SJC Fab Lab here in beautiful Stockton, California. And thank you so much for joining us for Hi Brett, I see you in the chat. This is a little bit different for me. We are all kind of in a Zoom call, but I only see myself. Uh, anyway, we're gonna work today with Minecraft Education. It is an outstanding tool for STEM learning, and I'm just gonna go ahead and start off um, right here by sharing a presentation. Don't worry, it's not gonna. This is not a PowerPoint type of presentation. Really, what it is a it's almost like what the kids like watching. You're gonna watch me play some video games or play a video game for a little while, and you're hopefully gonna try downloading it yourself and try it out. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. Uh, Stephanie, could you allow screen sharing, please?
Not
And I see
working.
a
1 second.
Okay. And I see a question from Megan. She says, "Are you sharing the links?" Yeah. So I have two main links that I want to share out to everyone. The first one is a Google site that I prepared for you all. And the Google site is right here. It's going to have most of what I'm covering today. I even made little animations so you can see how gameplay goes. And I'm also going to share out a link to where you can download Minecraft Education. Now, I do want to point out as you go to that link, one of the great things about Minecraft Education, it is free if you are a Microsoft school. So you can download it right now. And they just recently came out with it for pretty much every tool that you would use. It's for Chromebook. It's for, of course, a Windows machine. But they also even have it for iPad and for Mac. So right now I'm on a Mac and I'm still going to be using Minecraft Education. In fact, while I'm at it, I happen to have my tablet right here because we give it one more shot. We're having a little bit of trouble to share, but that is okay because right here I have the ability to bring it up on a tablet. So it's right here with me, and it's coming up. Okay, and I'll kind of walk you guys through it as we get started. So what you want to do is go ahead and sign in. Whatever account it is that you use for your Outlook email and calendar, that's the one you're going to want to use. So I'm just going to log in here. I hope it won't mind that I'm logged in on the desktop and I'm logging in on here. I don't think it will. Right, here we go. It is working and running, and I am right now ready to go in. If you have it going, go ahead, just log in. I hit play. Now you'll notice I have the ability to create a new world or view my worlds, ones that I've used before. I'm going to go ahead and start off with creating a new world. All right, now there are a few settings that I can choose. I always, because I don't really, I don't care to run away from monsters while we're learning STEM. I like to go into creative mode instead of survival mode. So I'm going to click creative right there. I have it set to peaceful. Now I do want to point out I can play the game or I can host the game. So I could be a teacher host a game and have my students join me in a virtual world, which is kind of neat. You know, we're kind of stuck in virtual, so the idea of being able to all meet inside Minecraft education is pretty cool. I'm just going to go ahead and say play. And I want to point out the experience between being on a tablet, being on a Chromebook, being on a Windows machine. It is almost identical. All right, and here I am. Now, great thing about Minecraft education, it is a really fun world for the students to be able to work in. Very expansive. And I want to point out how the Next Generation Science Center is one of the key things that we're always working on is models. We want students to be able to make models when they're solving problems, when they're trying to understand the world around them. And I cannot think of a bigger or better model of the world, of the natural world, than Minecraft education. And we have different ecosystems, different animals, and we're going to spend a little bit of time looking at how we can use MakeCode, which is Microsoft's coding language, in order to be able to change the world that we're working in through code. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the website that we have here. If you would go to it, I'd appreciate it. Just gonna put it in the chat one more time. There we go. I'm also gonna bring it up here on the tablet so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. All right. So here we go. You can look at the website to have most of the stuff that I'm going to be covering as we talk here. I do want to go ahead. Yeah, this is me. I'm Steve. And hopefully you went to the download site that I put in the link. Remember, we can get Minecraft education for Apple, for Chromebook, and for Windows machine. All right, so one of the key things that I just really want to stress is that we care about using the engineering design process as a part of science. We want students to be engineers as they are learning science. We're not just going to look at the engineering possibilities here. The reason I bring this up is because there was just this awesome competition that ended, I believe it's 4 a.m. California time, Pacific time, called the Microsoft Global Build Challenge. And what they were doing was looking at how animals and humans could live in harmony, which is a great thing to look at. Well, one of the things that they mentioned was the Sustainable Development Goals. If you're not familiar with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, it is as real as education can get. The idea that we want the students to be able to solve problems. Well, these real problems. These are real world problems, not for kids really, but for everybody. So right here, I happen to have a shot, and as soon as we have screen share back, I'll show you the animation for it. But one of my favorite students, actually, the one that my daughter was working with the Sustainable Development Goals, and you'll see some of the writing that she put into this world that she designed. Let me see if I can get the animation going on this. Oh, here we go. So you'll notice she has this kind of explanation of all the different problems that she addressed while working in Minecraft. And in order to deal with the issue of animals being able to freely roam, she made an elevated city. I was like, oh, you're gonna put all the buildings up in the air. And she was like, I was like, oh, like the Jetsons. And she was like, the Jetsons, what are the Jetsons? I was like, never mind. Anyway, so I at some point would like to walk you guys through that. I'm proud of it, but you know, I could be a little bit biased. Okay, as we go through that, I don't just want to point out that one. Here's another look at what we can do with Minecraft education. So right here, I am using Google Street View. I realize it's kind of weird to have Street View, and what I'm guessing we can all see is the International Space Station. But it does have that. So I'm kind of looking through the space station itself because, well, space is awesome. Anyway, I also have this quote there. All models are wrong, but some models are useful. So right here, I'm going to go forward one. This animation is of a Minecraft. There was a partnership between Microsoft and NASA, and what they made was a model in Minecraft of the International Space Station. So students can download this lesson. It is available within the game. And Microsoft has like another 10 lessons where they look at things like the solar panels, etc. So that students can learn more about the International Space Station within this immersive model. So it's just a great engaging way to look at STEM. And the links to that I have in our site, and I'm going to put the site there to you all again. And I see that Nanetta, I'm hoping I'm saying that right, has a question about being able to access lessons for the K-8. Yes, I have some links there, and I'm going to go over it a little bit later in our talk. But yes, yeah, there's lots of lessons built into Minecraft education. We'll go through that. Yes, we got screen share back. Thank you so much. All right. So thank you all for bearing with me while we were getting screen share up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put this link to the resource on the International Space Station there for you all into our chat. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna keep going here. So if you have downloaded Minecraft Education, as you see here, and as we started out earlier, you can go ahead and click play. You can create a new world, select new. I always suggest going into creative because I don't think it's helpful for us to be stressing over monsters. There's a lot of different settings that you can choose, like it's always day or whatever. And you can go right in and play. I'm hoping that the animation is showing up to everyone just fine. All right. Now, as you navigate the world, once you're in that video game, you're going to, depending on which version you use. So you all saw me navigating on the tablet, which I can do by pressing on the screen. But on every other version, what you want to do is click the keys W for forward, S for back, A and D for left and right, and then space for jump. And I don't know if you noticed, my character was flying. I did that by hitting space twice. So click on the space bar and you start to fly. All right. Now, I do want to point out one of the key things about Minecraft education is building. Kids go in there and they build some unbelievable stuff. So I do want to point out the way that you do that. There's, just like with your mouse, you have your left click and you have your right click. Excuse me. You have left click and you have right click. I can destroy something by left clicking, as you saw I just did there, and I can place a new item by doing a right click. You'll notice I used the scroll wheel to select through a few objects I have there. So you'll notice on the screen here what I have bricks, I have wood blocks, and I also have glass. So I'm selecting one and I can place it, and piece by piece, brick by brick, I can make a really outstanding or large, complicated model. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. Now, another great thing about Minecraft Education is that I can type in commands, kind of like if I were in a Unix machine or coding. I can type in commands to be able to control the model. You notice I'll do this in the animation right here. If I hit enter, up comes that chat dialog, and right now what I typed is time slash, it allows me to give a command, slash time, then I set it to day. Let me make this a little bit bigger. All right, I'm gonna keep going. All right, and here's where it gets really interesting. We have something called the code editor. So it's a chance to bring that computer science. Veronica, you said you don't see the projected screen. Do we have more attendees who don't see the projection? Okay, Tara says she's able to see fine. Thank you so much for the feedback, Tara. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It might be that the projected screen, I don't know why it would be doing that. I'm gonna try and think about that, Veronica, to see what we can do to help. But thank you, David and Jessica and Tara, who are giving me that feedback. Thank you so much. So let's talk a little bit about the code editor. While you're in Minecraft Education, if you hit C for code, it brings up that code builder right there. You can choose what language you want to use. Now, I always go with MakeCode. MakeCode is this language that Microsoft has made. It's actually very much like Scratch. It's built on Block Glue the same way that Scratch is. If we have any Scratch coders here today, Scratch being a very popular programming language within education. So anyway, MakeCode allows you to move around blocks and write code. I will point out we're going to be using Scratch a little bit later in the day. We have another session. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop this share, and I'm going to share Minecraft, and we'll try it out for a couple of minutes together. Okay. So I'm going to stop the share. Here I am large again, and I'm going to share our Minecraft. My hope is that that's also going to fix help Veronica out. While I'm at it, I'm also going to make sure that I share again our resource, because the stuff that I'm talking about is on this website right here. So if you're having any trouble, want to get to some of the stuff we're talking about, I put a bunch of resources there on that website. Here we go. Okay, I'm hoping everyone is able to see my game. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new world. There were questions earlier, and I just want to make sure that I address it now, just in case we run short on time. You can go to View Library, go to Lessons, and we have all these different types of lessons to choose from. Let's say that we were looking for science, and just a ton of them. Oop, it's telling me something went wrong. I'm going to go back. So, okay. So this time it didn't come up, but when you navigate to here, there's a whole bunch of lessons that Microsoft has. I'm also going to give you guys links to get to those online. You can download them and import them. All right, so I'm going to say create new, creative. I'm gonna go straight in and play. Hopefully, you've been able to download and install Minecraft Education. I'm hoping you've got a chance to do that. Thank you, Shauna. All right. Oh, here we are in the world. Let's get started. So you'll notice the world has its own properties. We got dirt right here, which I can destroy, but we also have lumber. Now, there are some things that aren't really logical, right? Like that should not keep floating. But there's lots of stuff that really does behave as you would expect it to do so. So I'm gonna go over here to this water. Just gonna start digging. All right, so if I take away, oh, notice we have water flowing in. It's kind of behaving like the real world would, to some extent. Not exact, you know, but not too bad either. Okay, so one of the things that we said was that we want to be able to code. So I'm going to hit that C button. And I'm going to tell it I want to code in Microsoft MakeCode. That little guy there is the agent. He's like a robot that I can control. All right, so I'm going to tell it I want to make a new project. Now I'm going to point out, if you've gotten this far, there are tutorials for cool lessons that Microsoft has made that you can start trying to code. So that's a perfect place to start after our session today. Okay, things like controlling that agent that I talked about, the little robot, mobs, characters within the world, etc. Lots of cool stuff to do. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on New Project. I'll call it CSC. All right. I do want to point out that we are going to have a few lessons, like video lessons for this, coming up with the CodeStack curriculum that you'll be able to try out. Now, notice we have categories of blocks. I'm just going to go with something really simple, like I want to place a block on start when my program starts. And I'm going to choose what type of block I want. I want gold. Gold is fun. All right. And this location is, mathematically defined relative to me. So 0, 0, 0 is essentially right where I am. All right. So I'm going to tell it to run the program. Oh, I know it looks like nothing happened, but I noticed I kind of moved forward a little bit. Oh, there's a chicken. Anyway, I moved forward a little bit. Why did I move forward? Oh, because a block of gold just moved out of the way. I'm also going to point out the agent showed up right where I am, and the agent is like, I'm stuck in a block of gold, like Han Solo. All right. Anyway, so as I walk through the world, I have all these different materials. By the way, I can get to inventory by hitting the E button. And we have all of these different types of materials and tools from pufferfish to, let's see, a diamond helmet, and then lots of other stuff. Okay, so, elements. We're going to talk a little bit about chemistry within the world of Minecraft. Just tons and tons of stuff for students to be able to work with in this model world. All right, please feel free. I am trying to keep an eye on the chat. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to jump out of our video game for a second and just kind of go back to not lecture mode, not lecture, but present mode. I'm going to stop the share there. And I'm going to bring back up our PowerPoint. All right, there we go. Okay, I'm hoping that's showing up just fine to people. I'm going to try and make sure that I have the chat up as well so I can see what people are saying. All right, here we go. So we talked a little bit about the code editor. I do want to point out that one of the things I can code, what we just coded was a straightforward function, which when I click the play button, the block that I put in there runs. We also have the ability to code in an event, something that's going to run when something happens in the world. So in this case, I wrote a little program that's going to place. Let me show you. One example I can do is code it so that there are flowers that'll show up behind me as I walk, because I can say whenever the player walks, have something show up. There's actually a lesson at the MineCraft education website for that. Okay, keep moving. I can also program commands. In other words, make it so that when I press a button, when I give a command that I've already coded, it's going to run that code. So right there, I said, hey, when I type in lava, put some lava there. So notice I typed in lava in the chat. Oh, and there's some lava. I'm going to take a second just to show everybody the website that I have here for you. You'll notice all the stuff we're talking about is there, so you can refer to it later. There we go. Okay, so notice there's International Space Station, links to the lesson. There we go. This is the science lesson database. Here's the International Space Station lesson. That's a link right there. Just showing you how these are the things that we've already covered. From building to the code editor, programming commands, events. Notice right here, I'm choosing a flower. It says when the player walks. I run that. Notice when I walk, I'm going to go forward and I'm going to look. Oh, behind me, there's flowers. All right. Okay, so just to make sure everyone knows that you can get to that there. I am going to make sure that I put that in the chat again, just in case anyone came in a little bit later. There you go. All right, I'm going to keep moving. Back to our presentation. All right. So one of the things I want to point out is in MineCraft education is the world builder. And what the world builder does is you can write code which will have it to just invisibly move through the world and start adding in blocks. You'll notice I typed in room, which ran my program here that I wrote called room. And if that kept on going, it was putting blocks around, scrolling up, and creating a room around the player. So it's kind of, think of it almost like a 3D printed house. All right, let's keep going. Another favorite ability of mine that we have in MineCraft education is called redstone. So redstone is kind of like circuitry. It carries power from point A to point B. So right now I'm going to pull that lever. Oh, and that redstone lamp turned on. So you can make some really cool stuff in our Minecraft world using redstone. So let's talk about being able to address standards using Minecraft education. So I just wanted to look at a few science standards from our our main subject. So chemistry, something I used to teach. We have here middle school. Let's go back. Physical science 1-5, and this standard is again dealing with making a model, which is perfect for Minecraft education. But we want to show here essentially the law of conservation of matter. Develop and use a model to describe how the total number of atoms, and it's kind of covered up here, does not change in a chemical reaction, and thus mass is conserved. Sometimes that can be tough to show, right? If you've taught high school chemistry, stoichiometry is not an easy thing to learn, but we can make it fun here. So you'll notice I have here an animation from a tool in Minecraft education called the compound creator. You'll notice I'm putting sodium and oxygen and hydrogen together. Oh, and it pops out lye. So I'm creating new compounds using the elements that exist in Minecraft education. All right, let's keep going. So we said we can bring chemistry into the world. Oh, I also want to point out we don't just have to stay at molecules. We can go down to elements. So it's kind of like you have your own super collider here in Minecraft education. Notice I'm using the element constructor. So I'm creating elements right there using that tool inside of the world. Let me keep moving. Next one that I do want to talk about is physics. So here's a standard, middle school standard. Develop and use a model to describe that waves are reflected, absorbed, or transmitted through various materials. Well, we could get some mirrors and lenses and whatnot, and we could test it out in the real world. And I think that's great to do. But especially while we're in we're in distance learning, how cool to be able to work together in a virtual world to try that stuff out. So here's a quick little demo that I recorded. Notice it's nighttime, a useful aspect of nighttime. Notice I have the glass and you can see through it. It's dark over here, but you notice it's the light around that lamp. It's bright in here. So that means that, we had things that were both transparent and we had stuff that was opaque. I notice there's shadows, there's light. So it's a rather complex world that's being modeled there, and we're able to start testing it out in Minecraft education. I also want to point out here, I have kind of a little world or a structure that I made. Right here, I have some solar triggers, and I have redstone there going to these lights. And so essentially what I've made is some solar panels. So students can look at how they can create solar panels there. Oh, and notice I also put some glass in the roof so I could have some skylights. So just kind of using those physical properties to engineer a better structure, a more green structure. All right, I'm just gonna look at the chat in case I've missed anything anyone said. No, I think we're doing good. We're doing great. And thank you so much, Stephanie. I see you've been responding as well. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So let's look at a biology standard here. So we've got middle school life science 2-3, develop a model to describe the cycling of matter and flow of energy among living and non-living parts of an ecosystem. Oh yeah, like this Minecraft education is perfect for a model that has lots of things in it, right? A model of life. I do want to point out, rather than showing one I made, Minecraft is constantly growing. So again, referring back to my daughter, she was using it, and I noticed there were bees. Like bees just entered the world of Minecraft, which I think bees are awesome. I like them; they work hard. Anyway, so there are several lessons um, inside of Minecraft education that they have at the website for you to work with just specifically dealing with bees. So there's lots of ability to work on things like an ecosystem, plant species, and animal species. Okay, so here we are. Just this animation showing you how we would get to that lesson database from inside of Minecraft education. I also was showing you some of the math ones as well, just in case. I realized I focused a lot on science. I used to teach both math and science, but I think I tend to think a little bit more sciencey. One other thing to definitely try out is this hour of code lesson. You know, now I could play the video, but we're pretty much out of time. This is time for Q&A. But I do want to put this link there for you guys in the chat.
Forests help ensure clean air, fresh water, and sustain life for more than half the world's species.
Okay, it's a great video, but I want us to have a little bit of time for Q&A. Again, if you don't have a Minecraft or a Microsoft account, they do allow you to still be able to use that lesson. So it's kind of a little bit of a workaround to be able to try it out or share it with others. So that link that I just put in the chat does get you to that lesson. It's called, as I recall, it's called AI for Good. So it deals with forest fires and artificial intelligence, some really real and important stuff, and an engaging lesson for the kids to try out. So while we're talking, I'm just going to go ahead, ask for questions from participants, and I wanted to show you that lesson from earlier, the build, and kind of walk you through some of the engineering problems that were solved there with our last couple of minutes. Thank you so much, Tara. So while I've got this coming up, I'm just going to go ahead, throw it there. Okay, I'm going to import. So great thing, your students can create a world. They can, save it and then turn it into you. I also want to point out, we didn't get a chance to show you, but well, you did see it. You notice there was a board, well, part of it. You notice there was a board there when I was showing the world that my daughter had worked on. Students can add their writing into the world itself. They can also use a notebook. So there's the ability to have a notebook inside of Minecraft education. The kids can edit it. There's a camera inside of the world, and they can either place the camera to take a photo of themselves inside the world, or just take a photo of an item that exists within the world, and then they can put it into their notebook, annotate that. It kind of allows them to make a notebook where they can respond to things. So you can make an assignment. I think I see a question. Oh, the question is, you love Minecraft, and how engaging do 7th and 8th graders find it? So we've done a Minecraft, what would we call it? It was a summer camp here dealing with video game creation. Students were engineering video games. Everyone was completely engaged. There was no point where anyone was bored, because it's fun. Kids came up with some really cool designs. Games, they were like recreating games that I had not heard of. Like there was one where I guess you had to destroy the floor, and I don't know. But they came up with some really cool stuff. So yeah, no, kids, 7th and 8th graders definitely find it engaging. Thank you for asking that question, Jason. I realize we're down to just a few more minutes, and I'm going to jump into that world that I had promised everyone. Oh, I think there's a question in Q&A. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, Jessica, that is a good question, and I wish I had a better answer for that. So that hour of code link that I put into the chat earlier, that one I believe is open to you, even if you are not a Microsoft school. So that's a chance for kids to at least get started with it. But the full, the full, what would you call it? The full software is only accessible to those with Microsoft accounts. I'm sorry. So I'm going to go ahead and import that world. There we go. So that's there we go. Level import finished. I'm going to go to my worlds, that global build challenge. 5 minutes. There is a ton of stuff that I want to show you in here. Just taking a second to load. By the way, as it said there about biomes, there's different, types of, so right here, we're in a jungle, whereas before we had been in, just gotta fly up to that world. Here we go. So several different things we addressed, like population density. So you'll notice there's living quarters that are very close to each other. It looks like New York. Let's see, I'm gonna go in here. What do we got? Place to check into the hotel. Notice these are powered lines here using redstone. So a little bit of circuitry that was dealt with there. She put some fines if you steal stuff. Let's keep moving. You'll notice that we have designed into here some hydroponics. So again, we were trying to deal with several of those sustainable development goals, like feeding the world. So right here, we have a water tower, water flowing. We have a pumpkin that's growing there, different plants. You'll notice that there are solar panels designed into here to deal with energy, being another one of our sustainable development goals. There's a school. I think I saw some bookshelves through there because education is another goal. So anyway, students can start solving a lot of problems, engineering within this world that they create. It is definitely very engaging, and it's not a drudgery to keep working on it or to write about what you've created, because students are very proud of their work when they've designed something in this world. So please go ahead, try it out. Download it. It's a free tool if you're a Microsoft school. We're going to have some more sessions coding in AppScript, which is for those Google schools. So Jessica, you asked about being a Google school. There's a chance for you to do a little bit of coding using AppScript. That's a little bit later in the day. And we also have a lesson on music and sound using Scratch a little bit later in the day as well. Both of those are you can definitely access. Okay, I think we're good, because I believe I'm supposed to be done right about now. Am I correct, Stephanie?
I have 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Are there any more questions with our last 2 minutes? Is there anything else I should show people?
I just want to let everybody know we're really sorry we had that little hiccup there, but I want to give Stephen a lot of credit for just rolling with it. That's how you know you're an educator. You just know how to go with the flow.
Thank you. Yeah, it wouldn't be 2020 if we didn't have a little bit of technical trouble.
Oh, yes, yes. I'm sure there's a lot of people on the chats that have had similar experiences, so we all understand.
All right. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna leave lava behind me. Oh no! Ah! All right. Thank you all for showing up. We'll have more sessions later. Bye.